Hello everyone and welcome to our webinar on cabinet build VSTs and soft starters. Thank you very much for investing your time on us today. My name is Henrique Perdoncini. I'm a sales engineer at the International Sales Department, and I'd like to introduce today's presenter, Monicelli Veg. Moni is one of our cabinet drive sales specialists with almost 10 years of experience with VEG automation in the international market. She has vast experience ranging from pumps for water segment to compressor for oil and gas applications. I would like to share with you some information about this webinar. To make sure the sound quality is good, our microphones are going to be muted. If you have any questions, we would love to hear from you, so feel free to type in the questions and answers chat. Our team is going to reply to your questions during this presentation. If by any chance you miss any important points, don't worry. A recorded version of this webinar will be available, meaning you can watch it again later or send to a colleague. To do so, just go to VEG's LinkedIn page, click on events. There you'll find this webinar, past webinars, and future ones from all the VEG divisions. Follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube so you can receive the latest news about VEG, our products, and all different solutions offered by VEG. Without further ado, I would like to welcome you all and pass over to Moni. Enjoy it.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to this webinar. Thank you, Henrique, for the introduction. It's a pleasure to have you guys watching our webinar today. As Henrique already mentioned, we are going to talk about cabinet built VSDs or variable speed drives and soft starters and all the customization possibilities when using WEG solutions. So we live in a dynamic world where every day more individualized and optimized solutions are required. But what to do when the standard products available in the market do not fit the needs? Different applications demand different approaches, from simple needs such as degree of protection not met by a standard product, or the inclusion of filters, special dimensions, cooling methods, or other elements that can be customized. And WEG has the expertise on providing solutions in these cases. That being so, this is our agenda for today, where we are going to talk about these topics. First, the standard panel solutions, so our standard products, customized solutions where we'll talk a little bit about harmonic mitigation, output filters, protection degree, and other possibilities. We will also talk a little bit about some real cases. We will show them to you. And then we will talk about the WEG structure. So in our portfolio, we have proper solutions that fit the customer's need when the standard product can't. If this sounds complicated, don't worry, because it's not. So this is how we will start our discussion. I want to show you what our main options are and how we can bring simple solutions to our most complex problems. Before we discuss what a VSD or a soft starter panel is, we must consider that standalone VSDs and soft starters, they are dedicated components of the electrical control panel. So we can define a VSD or a soft starter panel as a control panel that includes a soft starter and or a VSD inside, as well the control circuits, protection components, additional electrical components, and counts with a protection enclosure. These additional electrical components of the panel, they are all chosen according to the VSD and soft starters' different functions and applications. Great, but when should we specify a VSD or a soft starter panel instead of a standalone VSD and soft starter? To answer this question, we should take into consideration the main differences between a standalone and a panel solution. We can say that The standalone VSD and soft starter are ideal for decentralized installation, like close to the machines and or at the wall. These products may also be considered for application when the required individual protection does not need to be installed close to them. Also, when an additional filter or electrical equipment is not part of the solution. And of course, a panel is also a solution when the protection degree requirements are less restrictive. On the other hand, a panel must be considered when the requirements are a little bit more complex and complete. For example, when the application demands a specific input protection circuit and disconnecting devices. Also, when it's necessary to protect the VSD or the soft starter from the environment condition where it is installed, like from moisture, corrosion, dust, and any other aggressive conditions. Besides that, a panel represents more safety for the operator and the maintenance team, due its individualized disconnecting devices and the complete enclosure protection. A VSD and a soft starter panel or a soft starter panel is equipped with monitoring equipment directly on the panel door. This is also useful for a better visual status diagnostics and control of the process running by that equipment. All the listed points, they are just some examples of the reasons to consider a VSD or a soft starter panel for your application. Following these main listed points, we can briefly present the available standard panel solutions and their most relevant characteristics. First, the AFW11. This is the WEG's main product line for VSD panels. This product line allows a sort of optional, like additional IOs, communication, and temperature monitoring modules. With this product line, we can go up to 700 kilowatts at 440 volts and 660 kilowatts at 690 volts. The next one is the AFW11C. This product line is similar to the AFW11, but it has a better cost benefit when compared to the AFW11. But on the other hand, this product has basic optionals available. Once this is not provided with forced ventilation, the output power is limited to 480 kilowatts and 400 kilowatts at 440 or 690 volts. Now the AFW11M. This is the standard solution for high power, low voltage VSD panels. It has a modular configuration that allows us to add up to 5 power books or modules in order to increase the output power up 2000 kilowatts. This product line allows all the same optionals as the AFW11 line. And finally, we have the ASW900. This is a similar solution as the AFW11, but for soft starters. This product line, it's available up to 1200 kilowatts. Okay, all we talked so far was about the standard products. Although this is not the main subject of this webinar, it was important to present our standard product lines because from these solutions, we are able to offer customized designs. This is what I meant when I said our standard panel are flexible in terms of customizations. So the first topic to be discussed inside the main customized solutions topic is the harmonic mitigation. So, what are these harmonics? In short words, harmonics are frequency components, multiple of the mains fundamental frequency, which add to the fundamental current, causing the system voltage form to distort and leading to an energy quality reduction. Harmonics currents are produced by nonlinear loads that are in the system in the power system. Now, some examples of nonlinear loads are like fluorescent lamps, switch mode power supplies, rectifiers, and frequency inverters, all of them. Basically, all semiconductors equipments. And some examples of linear loads are motors, space heaters, transformers after power up, and incandescent light bulbs. So the IEEE 519 is the most accepted international recommendation about harmonic and establishes criteria on acceptable limits for harmonic in the power electrical system. These limits consider the system voltage level as the table 1 and the relation between the current load and system short circuit capability as listed in the table 2. Then, according to the recommendation, these values must be verified in the PCC, point of common coupling. And what's the PCC? We can define it as the point on a public power supply system electrically nearest to a particular load or at which other loads are or could be connected. In this example, the PCC is in the secondary busbar of the transformer. It means that the harmonic limits established on the IEEE 519 should be verified in this point and not necessarily on the input of the VSDs connected to the busbar, like for example here. However, if the PCC is to be considered in the input of the VSD, WEG is also able to provide solutions to reach the requirement harmonic levels for current. On the other hand, the compliance with voltage harmonic limits depends on the other system characteristics, such as the impedance, presence of other nonlinear loads, and so on. And what are the WEG customization possibilities for harmonic mitigation? Let's start with a multiples configuration of the VFD panel. In these cases, the VSD panel may be equipped with a multiples impact rectifier from 12 or 18 pulses. And it's necessary to consider a phase shifting transformer outside the VSD panel. An increase in the number of pulses of the input rectifier will reduce the harmonic content injected to the grid. This is a good option to be considered when the grid is available in medium voltage. Another option is the active front-end rectifier configuration or a regenerative VSD panel. As this option is mostly considered by the market for the benefit of power regeneration to the grid during fast breaking and high inertial load or when several motors are connected by a single DC link, this is also an option for harmonic mitigation. The last possibility and consideration I will present you is the inclusion of a passive harmonic filter in the VSD input. The passive harmonic filter are reliable when they are well sized to the application, they will ensure the correct harmonic mitigation and also keep the system efficiency in higher levels. The passive harmonic filter is also responsible for correcting the complete frequency harmonic spectrum, avoiding any unexpected situation while operation. This is actually one of the most sought after configurations for our customers. And which are the most critical scenarios where the harmonic mitigation is considered? When we have an equipment connected to the public grid, in offshore applications, and in any isolated grid application where the supply comes from a generator. So it's important to say that these are only examples and the harmonic mitigation may be required also for different applications, always depending on customers' requirement. So another customization option is the inclusion of output filter inside the VSD panel. As known, all the motors fed by a variable speed drive with PWM technology faces some effects that may cause damage to the motor. The PWM technology causes common mode voltage to appear and consequently currents, which flows through the motor bearings, and it can also affect the VSD control and cause unexpected ground faults. The voltage peaks caused by the IGBT's pulses reflect in overshooting voltage levels. When the cable connecting to a VSD and the motor are two long cables, the reflection effect amplifies the overshoot that can cause damage to the motor insulation. The VSD creates extremely fast rise times, or DVDT, which can also cause issues on the motor insulation and decrease its lifetime. So then every time I start a motor with a VSD, do I need to consider the installation of an output filter? The answer is pretty simple, no. If using a brand new WAG motor and the cable length between the VSD and the motor is less than 100 meters, no additional output filter is required. This is because the WAG induction motors are prepared to be controlled by the WAG VSDs. So it means that the motor is designed to support the PWM effects when applied with WAG VSDs without any additional filter. On the other hand, for applications with longer cable length, some additional requirements must be considered. Based on several practical cases, some typical distance values are recommended by our engineering team for the AFW11 series output filters. As already mentioned, for a cable length less than 100 meters, no output filter is required. For applications where the cable distances from the VSD to the motors are from 100 to 300 meters, the recommendation is to install an output reactor. For cable distances from 300 meters, a special filter is required. In these cases, WAG's team is available to analyze and recommend the best special filter for each scenario. The available options are DVDT and sinusoidal output filters. The usage of special filters is also recommended for motors without appropriate insulation system to be controlled by a VSD. For example, when you already have the motor and don't want to replace it, but you are moving to a VSD starting method. So long cable distances are always an attention point in specific applications. For example, where you have a submersible pump installed and, back. And where there are any VSDs installed in hazardous areas that normally demands long cable distances between the VSD and the motor. So now let's talk about a little bit about protection degree. A variety of different environment types can be found in industry, and Each one requires that all equipment operating at such environments are suitable and reliable to withstand such harsh conditions. The wrong choice of the protection degree can cause damage to the drive electrical parts due to the contaminant access to some sensible parts. These applications require an enclosure with proper protection degree to withstand the ambient conditions. And for the proposal of this presentation, the protection degree is referred to the Ingress Protection Code, IP code, based on the IEC standard. The IP code classifies the resistance of mechanical and electrical enclosures from the ingression of dust, water, and accidental contact. And how to choose the IP code? The first characteristic numeral indicates the degree of protection against the ingress of solid objects and against the access to hazardous parts. The second characteristic numeral indicates the degree of protection against the ingress of water with harmful effects. So the higher the number, higher the protection. IC standard also defines some optional complementary letters used to represent additional procedures to be carried out during tests, and also indicates that the enclosure will withstand the specific conditions. For example, the W. This describes an equipment suitable for use in specified weather conditions. This means it will also be provided with additional protective features. So these specific conditions include environment characteristics always aligned to customers' technical specifications. And now let's go through the most common possibilities of protection degree supplied by WEG. The IP52 enclosure is the standard enclosure offered by WEG. The standard product line mentioned in the beginning of this presentation comes with IP52 protection degree enclosures. This protection degree offers protection against access to hazardous parts with a wire when vertically falling water drops when the enclosure tilted up to 15 degrees. The IP54 enclosure offers protection against dust and splashing water. And the IP54W enclosure offers protection similar to IP54 and is also suitable for water condition applications. So the last quoted customization possibilities are not the only possibilities of customization offered by WEG. And this is what I will present now. There are several additional customization possibilities for WEG drive panels. Some of them are the multi-drive panel, where the multi-drives are installed in a single panel, and this configuration actually protects the electrical components and gives a simple application all the advantages of a panel structure. Emergency or synchronous bypass options. So this configuration may be built by contactors, ACBs, or air circuit breakers, or also soft starters, depending on the requirements. Customized input protection, being possible to choose between circuit breakers or fuses as part of the input protection circuit. A water-cooled panel option for, cooling system, air and or water cooling. So a water-cooled panel option for higher current ratings and smaller enclosure. It can also reduce the cost with the HVAC system of the electrical room. There is also the possibility to design a redundant air cooling system, avoiding the overheating of the panel in case of failure of a part of the main cooling system. Customized cable entrance position. So it's possible to follow the electrical room project, where sometimes may require cable entry from the top to the bottom, from the bottom, or from the side of the enclosures. We can customize the common de-sealing system, or we can customize it in this way, saving space due to the less quantity of panel components that will be necessary to run all individual panels inside his own enclosure. We can add a dynamic braking. This is mostly used in 6-pulse VSDs to dissipate the energy generated when the load must be quickly slowed or stopped. We can customize the painting and the painting plan. So the like for marine applications where the environment demands a special painting plan. So we can also offer additional tests. All the panels, they are tested based on the WAG's FAT. In this case, a test not covered by the FAT is required. We offer you the possibility to analyze if it's possible to perform this test as an additional one also in the factory. Some examples are the temperature rise and the efficiency test. This test may be also be unwitnessed or witnessed. Software and application projects. There is a responsible area for programming simple and complex logics for operation. For example, the design of a complete monitoring system or only to one specific part of the process. There is also possible to just configure a touchscreen HMI for a faster and complete visual control of the part of the process run by that drive. And all the customizations based in our accessories portfolio. So there is a great possibility of optional modules that can be added to the drive panel, like communication modules, additional IOs, encoders, PTC, and PT100 modules, and so on. The choice of the additional modules will depend on the customer's requirements. So then, after talking about the main customization possibilities, we can show some real cases of WAG panels applications. All of them were supplied as customized products. Here we have an oil and gas application where we supplied a 30 and 15 kilowatts panel package to operate in high temperatures. All these panels, they were equipped with input and output filter, and they were also witness tested. Another oil and gas application where we supplied a large VFD panel package with more than 150 panels. All these panels, they were designed with a customized short circuit level, and they left the factory only after being tested together with the operating motor. Here we supplied a 1600 modular VSD panel package for a downhill conveyor belt in Asia. This was an active front-end panel with an ACB or a circuit breaker for input protection and master slave software programming. Here we have an example of 90 kilowatts VSD panel supplied to a customer in Bolivia. This panel was designed with a dynamic braking and the operation and for operation in a hazardous area or environment. This was a very interesting project developed after a partnership between WEG and Liva. All these panels, they were completely designed with a stainless steel enclosure for offshore application. So here we have the last example for today. This was a multi-drive panel with 4 VSDs installed in the same enclosure for each one. Each one has his own output reactor and protection circuits. So the quantity of project panels designed and supplied by WEG is huge and covers all the most important applications in all the main market segments. These real cases listed before, they are just some examples of what we can do. And now we can talk a little bit about the WEG structure for panels. So what makes WEG different? Why is WEG capable of execute all these customization possibilities and even more? With a vertical manufacturing process, it's possible to control the entire supply chain, increase the production reliability, and being flexible during the entire production process. All these points allow WEG to customize from the color of the panel to the software program. This also makes WEG the largest electrical panels manufacturer in Latin America and the leading of e-house supplier in Brazil. In addition to this, WEG can customize a standard project into unique for each customer. This is possible because of our own exclusive and experienced engineering team. Another point is our laboratory and R&D, where the technology evolution is constantly being studied and tested. The laboratory located in the Brazilian plant has the largest capacity of for short circuiting. The largest capacity for short circuit testing at a private company in Southern Hemisphere. And I would like to add that our laboratory is also able to perform over than 300 different type tests. Although our largest production plant is located in Brazil, it's possible to meet demands for standard and customized products in other 7 plants around the world. We have production plants in Americas, Europe, and Africa. Each plant follows its local regulations and the main market characteristics. It's important to note that the production plants located in the US and Mexico, they are prepared to meet the NEMA demands for standard VSDs and soft starter panels. They also have the know-how on how to work very close to OEMs and design his own standard panels, always based on their needs. All of our production plants, they have experienced sales and engineering team, making it possible to quickly meet local requirements for most of the application. As you can see, our manufacturing plants, they are all strategically located in the main markets to serve you with short deliveries, as well as all our panel builder partners around the world. So this global structure mentioned before allows us to be closer to our customers, with more than 32 branches established in key countries prepared to provide you with technical and commercial support. We have also more than 100 commercial sales representatives around the world and a network with more than 1,000 service agents located in 5 continents, giving you prompt after sales and service support. After all, as you can see, WEG is and will always be where you need us. So now we reach the end of this presentation, and I would like to thank you for staying with us in this past hour. I hope this short presentation could give you an overview on what WEG is able to do in order to serve its customers in a better way. So this live event will stay open for the next few minutes. And feel free to send us any question about any point of this subject we discussed today. If any other question comes up later about this webinar or also about any other automation subject, please contact the sales representative from your location. I'm pretty sure they will be glad to help you. So have a great day.